that we just got through talking and you threw me off because you just used one word. You said awesome. And we were just talking back and
Sorry.
forth. No, no, it's not you. I just made myself laugh. I just thought it was very, very beautiful that you said one word there. I am going to tell you, I am honored to do this with you today.
Same. I
I
am
seriously,
honored to be here.
you're so sweet. I've been waiting to do my next audience of one with someone. I've done it with Sam Vaknin and a few other people. And I've been waiting to do one with someone that I truly knew I was going to enjoy doing it with. And I went through a long list of people. And I just was moved that I needed to do this with you to be the first person we do this with.
Yeah, man, we
Um,
have an awesome dynamic. We're
yes,
like two
we do.
hens in a hen house.
Yeah, absolutely. We think very much so alike on many different things, and I appreciate that about you. Um,
Me too.
what I wanted to do first of all is get into something that often gets overlooked, and that's well, let's do this. I'm going to put something up on the screen here, and then we can start talking about it. This comes from your Instagram page, and today in this audience of one with Michelle from Bumped, Bruised, and Blessed. By the way, everybody, please make sure you take a close look at her YouTube page. You're going to be able to find a lot of information there that can help you deal with being a black sheep in your family and dealing with those who are causing you difficulty. But what I wanted to do right now is take a closer look at your Instagram page. This posting, for example, narcissists will never demonstrate hard work. They believe they are entitled and deserving of benefits without effort. Shed a little bit more light on that for those who are new to this community of learning about narcissism.
Well, I'm blessed in the way that I have an education in this area, that my major in graduate work, I have my master's and bachelor's in psychology. So I am fascinated by human behavior. So I do have the education to back up. But unfortunately, I am also equipped with the experience. So all of my Instagram references, my YouTube topics, they're all inspired by real life interactions with narcissists. This particular post is based off of my narcissistic mother. You know, she is the queen of being self righteous, entitled, and she believes that she is superior to other people. So, in her deluded mind, she believes that she does not need to exert herself in any way, shape, or
Mm,
form. She believes that other people are the ones that should be falling all over her or doting on her. For example, holidays at my house, my husband and I typically are the hosts, and I am disabled, and it's a lot of work for my
mm-hmm.
husband,
Yeah.
but he does it because he's got a good heart. And she would just swoop over here with the enabler, the henchman, my dad,
Mm,
and just plant herself down, in a chair and expect my husband to wait on her. She
wow.
would always want some kind of wine or something. And just expect, it's that expectation that other people
Mm,
will serve her.
wow.
And it's rude, it's condescending, and it is a typical narcissistic trait.
That trait of being self absorbed and wanting others to serve them is something that's a common trait with narcissistic behavior
Yeah.
or even the disorder itself. Now, you have an MA and a BA. Did I get that right? Did I say that right? Okay.
Yes.
You have the reference work. You've studied human behavior. You've made this something that is a part of your life. It's a part of your psyche to begin to understand how people can live in peace. And you can kind of pick out the markers when people are looking to be disruptive. You're able to do that. But
Yeah, I feel like this is my calling.
right. And hey, you know what? Realistically, Come on now, you've been doing pretty good at calling people out on this, and,
Thank you.
and
We're
you
all in this
yeah,
together. Everyone
yeah.
is healing. We're all at different stages, but we help each other along. And the validation for me was just the most pivotal piece of my healing. Because for all these years, growing up in a narcissistic unit family, I'm very hesitant to use any terms of endearment with these people because there is nothing warm or familial about them. So I call it a dysfunctional unit rather than a family because I have a real family and I know what that means.
Yeah.
And it is a far cry from what I experienced growing up.
So
So,
when it comes to the family arrangement, to a dysfunctional, as you have put it, experience that someone can have, sometimes that person can be put into the category of the black sheep of the family.
yes,
So break this down for us and give us a little information. The majority of the audience that watches our YouTube channel, Narc Abuse TV Network, they also go to your channel and others because they're trying to understand what they've stepped into or what they are stepping out of a family situation. So break down for us that dynamics, maybe even what the golden
sure,
child means or the scapegoat, but
sure. As I
mainly the black
said,
sheep. Go ahead.
validation was the most crucial part of my healing. I have the educational background, but it wasn't until I saw a YouTube video in my feed about narcissism
Hmm.
that the light bulb went off. That's why I pay it forward with my channel because there's validation is invaluable. And you won't get that from, an educational background like book work.
Hmm.
I was, as I said, I have the education to back it up,
Hmm.
but I did not apply this to my life. I was so far removed from it because as a victim of a narcissistic parent, it's normalized. These
Okay.
people act like there's something wrong with us. It's
Yeah.
not them. They are constantly moving the blame, the accountability onto us, where I am the black sheep. That is the assigned role that I've always had. So in the dysfunctional unit, no one is spared. When there is a narcissistic parent at the helm, everyone is unfortunately impacted in a negative way. It could be the other parent, which might be the enabler or the henchman. I call my father because I have no relationship with him. Typically, a narcissistic parent will triangulate the other parent against the children because
Hmm.
they don't want anyone forming an alliance or a genuine connection because then they would lose control. And narcissists monger control at all times
Hmm.
because they have to, because they have constructed this false facade. So they need to protect it at every expense, and they will do that. So control is their like number one priority. Um,
Where where
as
does
far as
that?
the
I, I'm sorry. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
as far as the children go, I was the black sheep. There's also the golden child, which was my older brother.
Hmm.
There's also a lost child role, which nobody, there was only two of us, so we didn't have any of that. But a lost child there could be, multiple children in the family, could be a third child that kind of just gets cast aside, doesn't
Hmm.
get any attention, good or bad, is just
Okay.
lost, as the title insinuates. As far as the black sheep, that is me. Black
Hmm.
sheep is the best role because we are the truth tellers, the justice seekers. We are the ones with the best shot of extricating ourselves from the dysfunction because we know better. Something doesn't sit right with us, and we're the ones that question things and that have the integrity to stand up for ourselves. The golden child, as was my brother, that's a role that can be assigned based off of gender or birth order.
Mm-hmm.
He was the firstborn and he was a boy.
Mm-hmm.
So she definitely showed like preferential treatment. She preferred him to me because I was the baby and I was the girl. And typically, female narcissists don't want any type of competition. As absurd as that sounds, me being her daughter,
Mm-hmm.
that's what narcissistic mothers view their daughters as competition. It's absolutely inconceivable to decent human beings with good
Right.
hearts, but that's what narcissistic mothers do. They believe their daughters are competition. So she, in turn, triangulated my dad, my brother against me. So no one in this dysfunctional unit has any type of connection with one another. The golden boy, as well, was triangulated against me. It's almost like narcissists see the world like you're either on my team or you're my adversary. You're my arch enemy or you're my ally. And she did this. So she basically brought the golden boy onto her team.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also a flying monkey. A flying monkey is someone that's basically a tattletale. So he would run back to her with
Mm-hmm.
all of this information about me, all the fun things I was doing. And, they would use it against me to punish me or ostracize me further or degrade me further into believing that I was a problem, that, I was an honor student my entire life. I was in advanced
Wow.
placement. I was in varsity sports, all of those awesome accomplishments, student council. But she would hone in on the worst thing that I did and just that's all that she would exploit and speak about.
So never let that go. She would never let that thing you did that was not
Most
done to the
certainly.
best, but held on to it and continue to beat you over the head with it as
Right.
time went on. No matter what good you would have done in the community, anywhere else in school, it's a
Like
trait. It's a
typically the
trait.
black sheep speaks out against the
Mhm.
family or rebels in some way.
Yes.
So that's essentially what I was doing. There was so much friction. I did not belong with these people and I did not agree with her condescension, self-righteous demeanor, constant jealousy. I did not agree with that. So it was palpable, my resistance to these people.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I did not fit in with them. So, for example, one time in high school, I got drunk at a party. I
Hmm.
came home and the toxic duo called the police to come and intervene. My husband's a police officer now. And he's like, that's absurd, man. He's like, people do that
Uh,
don't want to parent their children.
yeah.
Like they acted like it was a federal offense. Like I had done the worst thing on the planet. And, you know,
It's almost like they found something about you that was wrong that they could point
right.
to bring you down. It's an interesting way that you just described that. I can imagine Joe standing up for you, saying that, hey, that's just not the way to go. By the way, handsome husband you got there. Of course, I just talked to him a little bit before we started here in getting this together. They're going to go see Batman. I think is that what it right? They're going to
They
go see
sure
Batman. Yeah,
are.
he's going to go see Batman.
The
Listen,
little one, the
yeah,
daughter,
yeah,
Josie, named after Joey. I don't know if
yeah.
you could see his picture back there, Joey, our son.
Yeah, yeah.
But Josephine, she is like a DC superhero fanatic.
She-
Spider-Man is her
uh,
number one, but
really?
Batman's up there too.
Okay. And now we're gonna I gotta bring this in. We have a cat. The cat is named Sherlock. Sherlock
Love it.
has this toy. He is a Spider-Man fanatic. I am not kidding you. He doesn't want Buzz Lightyear. He doesn't want this person out. He
Perfect.
doesn't care what the toy is. But if it's
Got good
Spider-Man,
taste.
he plays with it all the time. So I just funny that you said that. I
Way to
do
go,
wanna
Sherlock.
I want to touch on a couple of things before I put up something else on the screen here that we could talk about. I'm going to
Yeah.
ask you this question. When it comes to your personal life and what you've experienced, Um, has has dealing with MS been used against you by the toxic family?
Yes, it's sickening to me. It's like once you see this, you cannot unsee it. And you start to put the pieces together. As I said, like as a decent human being, which is their number one target, I say this over and over, and it's because I certainly mean it. It's like victims of narcissistic abuse are typically incredible, amazing people. A lot of the time we're empathic, so we can't conceive of, it's just like preposterous that another human being could
Mm-hmm.
be so cruel and evil. But that's how these people get away with it for as long as they do. Because I was talking about this with my girlfriend. I said, because her ex is a narcissist,
Mm-hmm.
they're all around. I was saying that, and she's very empathic. And I said, it's fun. I had a professor in college that said to me one time, we are attracted to these people because we want to help, because you have a good heart and you want to see the good in people. You want to believe that you can cultivate that goodness, help them to be a better person. So I was saying to my girlfriend, I was like, somebody could be 99% bad
Mm-hmm.
and 1% good, and we latch onto that 1%. We're like, I can work with that 1%. Yeah. So it's hard to conceive that narcissists are as evil at their core as they are, but they really do have just a blatant regard for other human beings. They have zero respect. I it's one thing to have, everybody has issues, nobody's perfect,
Mm-hmm.
totally understandable. But my problem is when people take those unresolved issues and they lash out at others. That is where I draw the line. And that is why I guess I have such a bone to pick with narcissists. And this is my passion project because I believe that we just need to advocate and educate victims. And
Yeah.
that's why I
Yeah.
put all of this material
Yeah.
out, as do you.
Yeah, you have a lot of people that have no idea that there are individuals who are out to dismantle another human being. Many walk through life innocently, not knowing that not everyone has the best intentions for them. You have come to recognize that through generational, emotional manipulation and a number of other things. I've got to ask you this one as well. Uh, Look, you
I'm
mentioned
sorry, you
concerning.
did ask me MS. It
Yeah,
has
no,
been, I'm
go
so
ahead.
sorry.
No,
I
no, no,
got
no. You
way
did
off
great.
track there.
No, you didn't. Listen, there is no track that you and I are on when we're together.
I'm
You
going
go
to
any
reel it back
direction.
in
Go
though,
ahead.
because I
Go
want to
ahead.
answer your
Sure.
question. So,
Hey,
yes,
you don't want
MS,
to get in trouble with Joe. Go and tell the truth. You know what?
yeah, Joe is my number one
Joe,
critic
your
here.
executive producer. Does you know? Okay, go ahead.
But
Go
with
ahead.
MS, like I have a post up about this as well on my Instagram. It's
Yeah.
like narcissists will deliberately put you in positions where they know that you will struggle. And this
Yeah.
has been reaffirmed on that post and also in separate direct messages I have gotten from other victims where, you know, the physical manifestation of this emotional and mental trauma is legitimate. There's factual evidence that correlates physical manifestations of this type of abuse. So a lot of people, unfortunately, in this position will develop disabilities or immune or autoimmune diseases, rather like myself. And my narcissistic mother would constantly put me in positions that would be awful for me. She would like, there's a million examples of this, and I talk about it a lot with my husband. I say, thank God that I had the sense as a black sheep to stand up to her. Like at my wedding, something silly, I got these shoes. They were high heels, but they were block heels that I knew I could wear all day and that I would be comfortable in. No one
Okay.
saw them. They were underneath my dress, but nonetheless, they were cute.
Mhm.
She had such an issue with me wearing these shoes. I was like, what do you, I was like, no. And thankfully, like I said, I had the sense to stand up to her. But it's like she was trying to like pressure me into getting shoes that would make me miserable and
Mhm.
ruin my day. So
Ha-
she's tried to put me in
having
a lot of positions where
having
my disability would be an issue.
if you have good memories with a narcissist, if you have any, tell me what they are right now.
None.
Okay, wait, no, I'm going to ask you another
I'm
question.
sorry, you're gonna have to
No,
move
no.
to the next question because there's nothing. I literally, like, I had
Oh
a
man.
relationship.
Okay.
I don't even call it a relationship. I call it an entanglement because I was engaged to a narcissist. So I have that to reference as well. But in terms of my upbringing, it's like everything revolved around these people, and hindsight is 2020. So when I look back at things, it's all skewed in the direction of the narcissist. We used to take family vacations to Florida like twice a year because they had to act bougie and like they were so affluent, and that was a reflection on them. They were just trying to, as I said, be bougie. And it's like, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me and my brother. It wasn't for the kids. It was all for the narc because she liked that and she loved sunbathing and all about her. So, in terms of good memories, like, I have tons of bad memories. I don't have anything really good.
You mentioned memories, so I'm going to do this. We did a show together on Instagram because that's where we got started.
Yeah,
My daughters and I doing this. This audience of one we're doing for YouTube and for our YouTube channel, and of course your channel as well,
thank
which you'll
you.
be posting this when we're done. Uh, I'm going to ask you this. You have a picture on a mantle behind you.
Yes,
Your daughter was named after your son.
correct.
Tell us a little bit about your son.
Our son, try to move. That's Joey back there, if you can still see in the light.
Everybody should hopefully be able to see that when they watch this back, but go ahead, please.
Our son Joey was our firstborn. He was born in May of 2009. We had our first daughter, Madeline, in July of 2000 or 2011. Excuse me, 2011. And Joey started throwing up pretty regularly after Manny was born. And no one wants to go to the worst extreme. So the doctor kept saying, oh, it's probably motion sickness, just kept passing it off, hoping it would go away, I guess. And then it wasn't until November 2011 that we learned Joey had brain cancer. So Madeline at this time was 4 months old, and Joe and I were, married in 2008. So, we were kind of a young couple at the
Yeah,
time. We
right.
didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what was going on.
Right.
And they diagnosed our son. They had to bring him for an MRI. They found you know, um, a mass in his right temporal lobe. He was, they rushed him to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and he had a craniotomy, brain surgery. They took it out. They found out that it was glioblastoma multiforme. It's one of the worst forms of brain
Mm-hmm.
cancer out there. So we struggled through that. It was the worst nightmare. I would never wish on the most evil enemy. It was
Yeah.
agonizing. It was an 18 months of just horrible, horrible
Mm-hmm.
experience. But during that time, I learned so much about my toxic, narcissistic family. My parents, you think they would be there for you at this time. You think they would rally around you or
Mm-hmm.
do anything to support you. And that couldn't have been further from the reality of it all. So we learned a lot during that time. And the evil core of these people that were my family came shining through.
It seems to be in situations like that, those who are self-absorbed, who are haughty and are looking for all the attention seem to really show themselves. Is that so? That's what you experience, is what you're saying?
Unfortunately, it's like Joe and I experienced such an outpouring of kindness from
Mm-hmm.
complete strangers, from my former coworkers, from Joe's coworkers. People were so kind and could not do enough to support us and help
Mm-hmm.
us. And my narcissistic mother and henchman father, they were just salivating. Essentially, it's disgusting, but they just were riding our coattails with all the attention that we were getting and the love and support. For example, Joey's picture was on the front page of the Daily Record. That's a big newspaper in Morris
Mm-hmm.
County.
Mm-hmm.
And they came to our home to take pictures for that and to do the interview.
Mm-hmm.
And the narc was like chomping at the bit to like get in the picture to be part of the interview. I was like, and people were making us food, meals, and she would be like, she would, of course, help herself, bring it home to the henchman, because God forbid she cook or anything. Just
It was.
people donated
I have.
money.
Let me ask you this. You're pretty much saying that you've come to experience this at so many different levels at times in your life, but now you're free of that on a day-to-day basis because you don't live in that environment. What environment are you providing now that sets your family in a different direction?
I do say this to people, and it's so hard when you're in it to
Mhm.
imagine a healthy family, but it's possible.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, so many people that I interact with and communicate with, reaffirm the same sentiment that I have. I want to be as different from that evil
Mhm.
woman as I could possibly be.
Yeah.
I have two beautiful daughters, and I love them with every fiber of my being. I will do everything to love and support them. And my entire upbringing, it was like I was ridden in shame
Mhm.
and I was constantly being put down, and I
Mhm.
look back and I'm like, gosh, I had a lot going for me when I was younger.
Good.
And
Good.
they couldn't have made me feel less than what they did. So
Yeah.
I say to Joe all the time, and I love the relationship that Joe has with our daughters as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want them to know how beautiful they are, how special they
Good.
are.
That's
I'll tell
awesome.
them every dang day if I need to.
Okay. All right. There's a virtual high five for you on that one because
Thank you.
seriously, I hear where you're coming from. I have my two daughters. They need to know that they're beautiful every day. You're absolutely correct on that. It goes a long way, right? Something you didn't
Absolutely.
experience, right? As you're saying, you didn't experience that. So a person that comes from that environment, as you said, a dysfunctional unit, instead of being a family unit, don't despair if you're watching this back or listening to this back in an audio format or any way that you happen to hear Michelle's voice. There is, as you said, right, as it were, light at the end of the tunnel.
There's
You
hope.
can, you can have hope. We're gonna get to this right now. I hope you're ready for this, but here we go. Any boundary you set, the narcissist will make it a point to cross it. Talk to us a little bit about that for those who think, well, Michelle, I heard you and I put my foot down, but they keep stepping on my foot and keep moving forward and
And they
crossing over
sure
my
will.
boundary. Talk about that.
As sure as the sun rises, the narcissist in your life will constantly test you. And I've heard this several times as well. The people that don't like the boundaries you set in your life are the ones that need you to set those boundaries. They're the ones that will disrespect you consistently, like my narcissistic mother. I made this mistake, and a lot of people do, with just giving her free reign, because she operates under the guise of, like, I'm your mother, I should have full access to you and your life. And these people, in their deluded minds, believe that we are their property because we're their children. So
Mm-hmm.
they will always infringe on your privacy or anything sacred to you. Like, in terms of boundaries, they just, narcissists are on a power trip 24/7. And if you tell them they can't do something, or you don't feel comfortable, or,
Mm-hmm.
we're not as overt as that. That's not our demeanor typically, is to be firm or to stand up for ourselves in any way. So when you do assert something like that, they will push you to the max, and they will absolutely try to get you to recoil and to retract that boundary. But all the more reason that it will reaffirm that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, I want to get to your comments also on this particular posting. The comments over here. So I'm gonna read a couple of things here, and then just go ahead and explain it a little bit more, expound on it a little bit more. In your comments for that particular posting on Instagram, bumped, bruised, and blessed is the Instagram page. The same name for your YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, right? Same, correct? If I
Yes.
remember. Yeah. Okay. So narcissists are adult children, is what you post. Let me look over here at a bigger screen.
Yes.
It says everything is a game to them. When you establish a boundary, they will make it a point to violate your wishes.
Yes.
That's what you were just talking about. But I like what you, I'm going to read this here. Notice this point here. Very good point you made. Because they have no substantial connections or love in their life, they seek gratification through juvenile acting out like this. Upsetting others gives them a sense of power. You've
Yes.
kind of touched on that, but talk about that a little bit more for someone who's experiencing that and they're just trying to figure it out. You've laid out some really good facts here.
Absolutely. So, being in a genuine relationship with another human being requires a level of vulnerability, to open yourself up to being honest and letting someone in and sharing elements of yourself that maybe you would not share with everyone else. So narcissists are so weak and fragile, they're not able to do that. Therefore, they will never have a substantial, formidable relationship in their lives. So, as a kind of, like, they're acting like a narcissist, as I said, they are adult children. Their their mentality is, at best, an adolescent. And I don't even like comparing them to children,
Mm-hmm.
because children are brilliant and beautiful and amazing. So, but it is juvenile, it's immaturity to the worst extreme. They look like adults,
Mm-hmm.
all intents and purposes, but mentally they are severely stunted. So they do not have the capacity to genuinely love and appreciate another human being. So they have to get their kicks otherwise. Like, in life, love and genuine connections with other people is what it's all about. I mean, our human connections are
Yeah.
everything in this life. And there's nothing like love and experiencing a reciprocal love with someone that loves you, that you love back. It's a
You,
feeling
you didn't feel that, did you?
indescribable.
You didn't
Absolutely
feel
not.
that growing up. The reciprocal part you just said.
No, there was always, like, some type of a block. And as an empath, which I said most of us are, we tend to be like, what can I do to make this better? Maybe I need to communicate. Maybe I will get through this way. That's another thing. I can tie it back to the situation with our son. I said, this will get to her. she will appreciate our beautiful daughters. She'll appreciate me. She'll appreciate life because, yeah, as demonstrated by what we went through with Joey, life can change in an instant, and you have to
Absolutely. Yeah.
appreciate the people that you love and care about. And
Yeah.
that had absolutely no bearing on her whatsoever. If anything, she got worse. And that's when I was like, holy cannoli, man. Like we love and appreciate our daughters. Josie, by the way, we got pregnant with Josie when we were going through all this stuff with Joey because go big or go home. That's our motto. Joe and
Well,
I, yeah.
you and Joe have set the tone. And today I already told Joe before we started our discussion here in the audience of one that I'm a little jealous of him, and I'm not a guy that gets jealous, but I'm a little jealous of him because he gets to go see Batman. But but
Fair
what
enough.
I do want to say before we end here, just give me a second here.
Nice mugs
What I was
there.
going to say. By the way, this is a part of the products that come from Boodles, who takes care of this stuff for us. Some of you
Love
have
it.
gotten a mug already from us, but you know what? Show me your mug. Show me
You got
yours.
another mug coming your way?
I was gonna say, am I gonna get something from your merch store? Thank
You
you very
got
much.
it, sir.
Bumped, bruised, and blessed. Oh, you got another one there. My goodness, you're on it. Wait a minute. No, what's behind you over there? What's behind you back there?
I got
Oh, you
stickers,
got stickers. Check you out. You got
some
t-shirts
shirts.
back. I saw that when I was looking at the picture. You got
We
t-shirts.
got kids, we got women's, we got
Look,
men's.
look
You
at
know
you.
what? I want to say this about, and this is for our little, oh shoot, our mascot, Gino,
Oh my
our
goodness.
dog. But they don't sell the dog shirts anymore, unfortunately. But
Oh,
I'll tell you this, I designed our logo, which I'm so proud of. I
way to
want,
go.
I'm like shaking.
No. You got it right there. That's perfect. Right there is perfect. Absolutely. I love it. By the way, I'm not begging, because
No,
it's not my thing to be jealous or begging, but I'm begging and I'm jealous of your husband, but I am going to get one, right? I think you said, is it coming my
you
way?
bet. You got a t-shirt
Look at
coming
me.
your way. You got
Okay.
a mug and stickers.
I'm wearing
And
them. I'm wearing them doing my live shows without
heck
a doubt.
yeah, man.
And I'll
And
get
like
you a
I said,
sticker
I
too.
designed this logo. I like sketched it out on a
Yeah.
kitchen pad way back when I
Way to
just
go.
started, sticking my toe in the water with all
Yeah.
this narc abuse stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, gosh, we've been through so much in our life, but we're bumped and we're bruised, but beyond
Yeah.
everything, we are blessed
Yeah.
because I have my husband and our beautiful daughters, our children. And Joey was an incredible blessing, and he still is very much a part of our life. And
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful for getting out from under the narcissistic abuse and that terrible feeling. And wherever you are in your
Yeah.
journey, it only gets better because identifying the source of this dark feeling is the beginning.
Beautiful. I love doing shows with you. This is only our second time together, but you will have a regular appearance on our Narc Abuse TV network,
Yes.
because we will, like today, be bringing you into our NATV studios that my daughters and I have, and we will be doing live shows together on specific subjects and a number of things. People, you have to come and take a look at Narc Abuse TV network on YouTube. Michelle will have her own live show with a number of different bits of information, but we're really going to hone in on that black sheep concept. If somebody's living that life, that you're not alone. If you've been ostracized from your family because they have narcissistic behavior and want to control your life, there are ways you can navigate that and have a fulfilling, beautiful life with you and your family. I do want to say this. Well, actually, I'll show everybody that will be watching this back. Some of you are listening to this, but here we go. I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to do that. And we're going to go up here and do this. I need everyone to subscribe to Bumped, Bruised, and Blessed on YouTube. Now, I know she has an Instagram page, but I want to take time right now. I am asking you, please, to take out of your time to subscribe to her YouTube channel. Why is that? Because all of us that are part of the YouTube community are looking for you to tell YouTube that you like us so that they will put more of our content in front of more people. That's why subscribing is very important. So please keep that in mind. And by all means, I want everyone to know we thank you for being here. We thank you for watching this show, but more is to come. So don't be fooled. There is more coming from Michelle. But right now, we're going to be ending the show. But before we go, Michelle, if you don't mind, let me get this out of the way. This this time we spent together, we've talked about a few things, but we've only scratched the surface. We have already planned out shows 1, 2, and 3, and other things that we're going to be doing.
Yes.
So there's a whole lot more coming for those who want to know that.
March 22nd,
Yes, March
2 o'clock
22nd. Look at you.
Eastern Standard Time is
Look
our
at you.
first live.
You're good. Man, hey, just let me step out of the way.
I got it.
Yes, I'm looking 1, 2, 3. We got four shows
Yeah.
coming your way. And so stay tuned. But I do want to ask this of you before we go. Are you ready? I hope you're ready, because I told you I got something here planned. So here we go. I'm going to put something up on the screen, and I need you to just have at it. Speak from your heart. I know you will. But here we go. Guilt and shame. The black sheep of the family can be consumed by that and not even know they're the black sheep, first of all. Speak to that.
These are like in the arsenal of narcissistic parental. This is a trigger because as a child of a narcissistic parent, particularly as the black sheep, guilt and shame are used to constantly control you, to degrade your self-worth, any self-respect that you have. Up until the age of 7 years old, we are in a theta brainwave state, which means that we're like sponges. We're just absorbing what's around us. I have a post about that. I have a post about all this stuff. But children are what you tell them they are. They believe that. And when a parent is mistreating them, the child doesn't blame the parent. They blame themselves. They think, what am I doing to deserve this? Or why am I being ostracized in this way? Why am I the bad one? And even into my adult years, they would say things to me like, you're too sensitive, or you're the only one that's unhappy. Everybody else is fine. So there's the guilt and the shame because narcissists will constantly project and deflect, or DARVO, which is deny, accountability, reverse victim and offender. They'll constantly push it onto the victim instead of taking any accountability or responsibility for their wrongdoings. It couldn't possibly be them. It's got to be you. So they use guilt and shame to constantly degrade you, to push you down, as a way to control you. Same thing happened in my narcissistic entanglement with the creep that I was engaged to.
Wow. You found yourself in a life that you had to escape from. You have now since been free of that everyday environment. You've worked very hard to make sure that your children are going to have dignity and respect from their parent. But we're not done here, are we? There's more we could talk about.
Tons.
But today we're done. So, today we're done at this moment in time. So if you are listening to this or watching it back, this is just the beginning of a journey in which, Michelle's been kind enough to bring her message over here to Narc Abuse TV Network, because all we do is showcase positive.
Yeah, I love what you do. I'm going to interrupt you, sir. I love that you spread awareness, and this is this is my passion project. It's spreading awareness about narcissistic abuse, who these monsters are and what they do, and the subtle, covert,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
tactics that they use to really dismantle and harm genuinely
yeah,
good-hearted,
yeah,
well-intentioned people.
yeah,
So I
absolutely.
love what you do.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. I'm glad we were able to put this joint venture together and what we're doing. And the first time we did the Instagram live, because you are a positive, informative, and encouraging person. Of course,
Thank you.
I love saying that because that's who you are for one, and two, it spells PIE or pie. I love pie. So you're positive,
Yeah,
informative, and encouraging. You're a perfect
I'll
piece of
take
pie
that.
to have. You're
Thank
very
you.
encouraging, and we're going to do so much more that others will be able to enjoy. But right now, um, we're done for right now. But I have to
Perfect.
remind everybody, I've got to do this, my friend. I've got to remind everybody, please make sure that you subscribe to Bumped, Bruised, and Blessed. If you feel some people are inclined to support the work she's doing, Michelle is not about doing this for money. There are many that are out there. That's all they do it for. That's not Michelle and her team of people, her family.
Same
She's
with
doing
Narc
it to
Abuse
help. Yes.
TV.
Oh, you're so kind. She's really doing this to help individuals. She's not a coach. She's not. She's taking of her own time and money to do so. So please subscribe so that more of her message will reach others in the YouTube algorithm. And again, I repeat, I want to thank everybody that has been here and for what you've done by being here. We truly appreciate it. And whatever you do, keep coming back to Narc Abuse TV Network here at the NATV studios. Thank you, Michelle, for doing this with me. I appreciate it greatly. I appreciate you. You're a beautiful person inside and out. Don't change a
Thank
thing.
you.
Everybody else, we'll see you later.